always say your prayers. Why you keep stealing my shit? Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Look at this loaded chili cheese nachos. I couldn't even think. So this is the chili and cheese already added on the chips. And then, you guys can barely see me, but as I munch down, you'll see better. I'm gonna top it with some toppings. So, I didn't have time to make my homemade guac, so just have some store-bought that I'm gonna use. And I got this from Walmart. I really don't like store-made guacamole, but can you see the steam, you guys? It's steaming. I just poured all of this on here. Okay. A mound. Okay, and then I'm gonna put, oh my God. I love whole cherry tomatoes on my nachos. So we're gonna do that too. You guys can't see. I can't see what's over here. Okay. This is a mountain. A mountain! Alright, then I'm gonna do sour cream next. And I gotta hurry because, oh my God, I don't want these chips to get soggy. But I do have, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Why do I always do the most ridiculous nachos? I do. Okay, now some chives. Oh my God, it's going everywhere. All right. And I have a story time for you guys today. Also, yeah, hi, I'm back here. And I'm trying to open this hot sauce. Okay, gotta have some hot sauce on there. Oops. All right, hot sauce. Okay, so we're ready. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna pray and then I'm gonna tear this up. I'm so hungry. And I got extra queso right here unless I need it. So, all right, thank you, Father, for this food. Bless this food and sanctify it by your word. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. And always say your prayers. Coldest water bottle right here, you guys. Look in my description box if you would like one. Okay, something overflowing, I think it is. Oh my God. Whew. Am I close enough? Okay. Story time about, let's get into this, Mrs.C. I'm so hungry today. Really hungry. If you guys hear shit in the background, it's because Yeah. Everybody's doing their thing back there. This is going to be a messy mukbang. Warning you right now. If you guys don't like messy eating, gross eating, don't watch this video. Okay, I gotta use a fork here because look at this. No. There's a bite. Oh. How is everyone? Whew. Sorry, I'm so hungry. And I already got, where's White? When they're gonna do messy nachos. Apparently me. All right, Mrs.C. So, I think I left off where I remember she wouldn't let me in the door. Yeah. Well, the next morning I pull up in her driveway. She wouldn't let me in again. Walked up to her door, rang the doorbell. I already knew she wasn't gonna let me in. I already knew it. Because she didn't, you know, the day before. So I sat there and I rang the doorbell like 3 times. I don't even know why I wore lipstick. After she would not answer the door, on the 3rd ring, I walked back to, you know, her back portion of her house because I knew that's what my boss told me to do. So I knew I had to do that. More sour cream, please. So I walk back there. Of course, there she is. Laying on her little bench, and she's looking right at me. Ooh, look at that bite right there. And I said, "Hey, Miss C," I said, "can you let me in, please?" And she looked at me and she rolled over. She rolled over and turned her back to me. And then she goes, "You can let yourself in." So I saw that the duct tape on the door, you guys remember last time I told you she duct taped the door so we couldn't get in? I noticed it wasn't there. So I guess she wanted me to reach my finger through and unlock it. Well, that's what I did. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. How cold. Sour cream is really cold. She had her back to me. So I unlocked the door. I walk in and I said, "Hi, Missy, how are you? Good morning." Of course, she didn't say anything to me. This is La Victoria. My favorite is Ortega hot sauce. Oh my God, it's my favorite. But they didn't have it. So I got this. I'm also going to do a little... So I go in and walk past her. I go and sign into my logbook, you know, put my crap down and go back out there with her. Oh my God, how am I going to do this? I ate nachos really repulsing or really delicious. However you guys want to see it, but yeah, I do. So as I go back outside to sit with her, she still has her back to me. Won't even pay attention to me. So I sat down and I'm like, I said, "So how has your morning been?" Her back was still to me. She was laying down. She wouldn't turn around or wouldn't talk to me. And so I was just like, okay. And I said, "Well, I didn't sleep very good last night, so I didn't have a good morning." You know, I was trying to make conversation with her. And she still wasn't having it. She didn't turn around. She wouldn't, you know, talk to me, nothing. God. I'm so sorry. Do you hear my husband's Oh God. My husband sneezes so outrageously loud, it's ridiculous. I'm sure you guys heard. And then Big Daddy's in the other room. He's like, "What the fuck?" That's why I was laughing. Anyways. Okay. So I literally sat there and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and wait for her to turn around. Sorry, I'm about to mess all this up because I want to get... So I was going to wait for her to turn around and talk to me, right? A whole entire hour, you guys, goes by. She would not turn around and she wouldn't say a word to me. I asked her a couple more questions, but I don't remember exactly what they were. But she never answered. So I was like, oh my God. I said, Jesus, it's going to be 8 hours of this. So I said, Missy, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Her back was still to me. So I got up and I went to the bathroom. And when I came back, she was gone. She wasn't on the bench anymore. I'm looking for her. Couldn't find her. I can finally see her through the window in the kitchen. And she comes walking out to the, patio area. She looks at me, and every time she looked at me, it was just like she'd always look up and down at me, like roll her eyes, and she was just very snotty. So she walked out there and she was doing that. She was giving me that glare, and she looked up and down at me, and then she just kept walking, and then she sat on her little bench that she always does. So an hour of looking at the birds, the wind, the trees, and, just her like glaring at me and nothing to do. I didn't have my phone. I left my phone in the house. So she's sitting there. She sat down and she like crossed her legs. And she's like, moving her crossed leg back and forth, back and forth. And she's just looking out with her arms crossed outside. I said, Missy, excuse me. I said, Missy, I really wish you would talk to me. I said, I know that you're always alone here, and maybe talking, having a conversation would, put you in a good mood. She looks at me and she goes, I don't need your help to be put in a good mood. And she turned back around and I said, I'm just trying to help you. I said, okay, fine. Then, every time she'd look at me, I would smile at her. I would. Even though sometimes I wanted to flip her off. Like, when she'd walk away from me, I want to flip her off so bad because she was so mean and hateful. So mean. I tried so hard to be so loving and kind to her. Anyway, so she finally looks at me and she goes, first she's staring at me. She wouldn't say a word. She's just staring at me. And then I said, she's glaring at me. She wouldn't say a word. So, put some more cheese on now. I smile at her, I give her a really, sweet smile. Like I want to say hi, but she was staring at me for, 5 seconds. or maybe 10 seconds. And she wasn't saying anything. So finally I said, do you need something, Miss C? And I was still smiling at her. And, oh my God. I'm going to turn this. She goes, I need you to leave. I need you to go in the other room. I don't want you sitting here just staring at me the whole entire time. Because that's all you do is, is just stare at me. She always talked to me so snotty. And I said, well, Miss C, I'm sorry. I said, I can't. This is my job. I can't leave you. You got to be in sight, and I have to be with you at all times. So she's like, I don't give a damn. She goes, I don't want you sitting here staring at me. Go in the next room. So I said, okay. All right. I got it. I went to the next room. You know that room I was talking about where, like, you know, it's right before you get to her kitchen. And it has, like, a bunch of books and, like, travel, like, souvenirs and stuff like that. So I could tell that, you know, they traveled a lot because she had a lot of souvenirs, travel souvenirs, and then she had family photos, and then she had books in this little room off the, oh my God, I'm making a mess, off her patio before you get to the kitchen. So I'm like, all right. I said, I'm just going to sit in there just for a minute. Maybe she'll calm down, and then I'm going to go back out there. So I'm sitting there. I've never been in that room before. Of course, I passed through it, but I never actually sat in there. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking around. And I see all these postcards from different, you know, cities and states and stuff. I noticed a big photo album on the table. And it said family photos. I warned you, it's messy. So I'm contemplating to myself, I'm like, do I have the guts? Do I have the balls to get up and go ask her if I could look through her family photos? Because actually, that's a hobby of mine. I don't even know if that's an actual hobby, but I love looking at family photos. It doesn't even have to be my own family. Total strangers. I love it. So I said, yeah, I'm going to go ask her. I'm not going to sit here. I'm going to go ask her. I'm going to work up the nerve and I'm going to go. So I got up. I went out to the patio and I said, I opened the door and she immediately looked at me like she was about to yell at me and say, I'm getting pissed. She was about to yell at me and say, go back in there or something like that. Or I didn't tell you can come back out here. Before she could say anything to me, I'm the one that opened my mouth. I said, Miss C, can I please look at your family photos? I noticed you have a family photo album there. And I'm just sitting here, so can I please look through them? If you wouldn't mind, I would love to look through them. She turned at me, you guys, and I was expecting like The Exorcist, like her head to spin around. Don't touch my photos. Like I was expecting that. I'm not kidding. And she just looked at me. And this time she did not have a glare or like a mean look. And then she goes, I will show them to you. And I was like, oh, okay. The heck? So she gets up. And she comes in the room with me. She turns around, she goes, you can sit right here. Sit down. I said, okay. I sat down. And she walks over all dainty like and like picks up, you know, the photo album. And she comes to sit next to me. Like she sat next to me. Like she's never done that. And then she opens up the book. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, she's gonna pick up the, because it was like this thick. I'm not kidding you guys. It was a huge thick ass. You know those old timey photo albums where like the pages are plastic and then you just fit the little pictures inside, you know, each one. But it was huge. There was probably like 300 pictures in there, maybe more. So she sat next to me and I was telling myself she's gonna fucking get that photo album and tank me right in the face with it, like wham, like, because she was so mean. And when she would do something nice or like something out of the ordinary, I would think things like that. So I was preparing myself for her to hit me with the photo album. I really was. And I was like, you know, thinking about in my head, what move am I going to do? Because shit. So she opens the photo album and then she has like this sweet little voice. And she opens it and she goes, her whole demeanor changed, her voice changed. And she's like, well, this right here, like really, really sweet, is my my husband's family, and this is so-and-so, and this is so-and-so, and then this, she was pointing to every person in the picture, and I was sitting there next to her, and I'm like, oh, wow, you know, and I was just like, oh my God. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. She's nice to me, and we actually get to do something rather than stare at the birds. I can't take it. Huh. Sorry, it's really messy. But it's so good like that. Messier the better. And then she got to the place in her photo album. She went on and on and on and on and on about who these people are and who that is. And I was actually enjoying it. I really was. That was a juicy meatball. Tomato, not meatball. Then she got to like her wedding. The pictures of her and her husband when they got married and, you know, stuff like that. That's the section of the photo album we're at this time. So she's showing me her wedding photos and I'm like, Mrs.C, you were so beautiful. That dress is gorgeous. Oh my God. You know, and I can kind of see like a little crack of smile on her face. Like she would just cut her eyes at me. She wouldn't turn her head and look at me. She would just be like, with a little half smile every time I complimented her, you know. So then, oh yeah, look at my shirt. Nap queen. You better know it. I love my naps. So then there was this one picture, and it was right after her and her husband got married, and they were going off, you know, on their honeymoon. Oh my God. Let me take this bite really quick. This picture was of her husband, and he was very handsome, very handsome. And it was after their wedding and they were going on their honeymoon. So it was a picture of him and her, and you know, he had like this really nice suit on, and she had this really pretty dress on. And I was like, oh my God, I love your dress. And she goes, thank you. And she's like, my mother-in-law made it for me. And it was that kind, you know, those kind of dresses like back in the day where like, it looked like a blouse up top, and then it had a belt for the waist, a really tight belt on the waist. And then it kind of like flared out a little bit. This wasn't her wedding dress. It was just a dress that she wore, you know, to get ready to go on her honeymoon. So I noticed her husband he had like this glow, you know, on his face, the biggest smile. He was so happy. They were walking down a flight of stairs. They were arm in arm. And he had this biggest, you know, like elated smile on his face. And he was very handsome. And she had his arm in her one arm. And then with her other arm, she had a handkerchief. And she was like, you know, her head was down. And with the handkerchief, she was like wiping her eyes. And her face was like this. So I could tell in the picture she was crying. So I said, Mrs.C, are you crying in this picture? Wrong fucking thing. This is the wrong thing to ask. Oh my God. Jesus. Hold on. She slammed the family album, slammed it shut. She got up and she went and put it back. She put it down where it was before. And then she went to walk away, and she turned back around, and then she moved it over a little bit to the right. And then she stared, and then she moved over a little bit to the left. And like she wanted to make sure that album was exactly where it was before she picked it up. Then she comes charging at me like a mad bull. She wasn't running, but she was fast walking. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Here we go again. She's gonna fucking yell at me. She gets in my face, and I swear, if she had dentures, she didn't have dentures. She had veneers, so those suckers weren't coming out. However, if she would have wore dentures, they would have flew in my face. That's how angry she was, and that's how loud she was yelling at me. And she was like, with her, like, you know, just... And she goes, why do you think I was crying? Of course I was crying. I was leaving my family forever, and I was going off with my husband. So why wouldn't I cry? I was only 22. And I'm like backing up because she's really screaming. She's spitting in my face. She's spitting in my face because she was yelling at me that bad. And I said, okay, Miss C, please don't yell in my face. I said, I thought that you would be happy, you know, not sad, but I understand why, you know, your family. Like, I was saying, bitch, I was already married with 3 kids at 22. And you want to cry because you're going off to on your honeymoon with your husband? Oh my God. Of course I didn't say that, but I was thinking that. Yeah, but she was sobbing, sobbing because she was leaving her house to go be with her husband. I thought that was kind of odd. I mean, but I guess, you know, look at this massive thing. She's like, you think I'd be happy leaving my family? I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. It was just an innocent question. I was confused. She's like, no more photos today. And then she storms off into the kitchen. And then I'm like, oh my God. I get up, I go in the kitchen. And she's standing at the kitchen sink with her arms on the sink, and she's just standing there looking out the window, you know, towards the back patio where we always sit. And she's just standing there. And I said, Miss C, I'm sorry. I did not mean to upset you. I'm very sorry. Do you forgive me? I would not have asked that question if I knew it was going to upset you. Oh, so good. Water's so good. She wouldn't say anything to me. She just kept standing there. So I sat down at her bar area. Cause I don't know. I didn't know what to do. So I just sat there, and then I heard her sniffling. She was crying. And I was like, should I get up and hug her? And then I can picture myself slapping myself in the face. Bitch, you nuts? She's gonna fucking knock you out. No. I wanted to get up and hug her. I felt so bad. Even though she was mean and hateful, I really did. So I said, Miss C, are you crying? I said, is there anything I can do for you, please? Just let me know. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, bring up a painful memory like that. Even though we were staring at the damn picture. Like, so she turns around and she looks at me, and yeah, she was crying. She had tears rolling down. And she goes, it's okay. I just don't want to talk about it anymore. So she walks out to the back patio. So, of course, I follow her. Mm-hmm. Did I tell you guys how good this was? I walk out there like right after her, and she's laying on the bench. And she's just laying there, and she's looking up at the ceiling because, it was a screened-in porch. She wasn't crying anymore, but I felt like, I don't know, I just felt led and obligated to say something. So, oh my God. At the same time, I was scared because, she gets so angry. Oh my God. So I said something anyways. This is still steaming. So I was literally like 2 seconds from like asking her another question or, trying to lighten the mood or change the subject. Then the next thing I know, she sits up. I have a hair in my eye or something. And she goes, it was so scary, you guys. She sits up and like this smile, this like really creepy smile on her face. And she goes, do you want to know how me and my husband met? I was like, I would love to, yes. So she said that she totally went, of course, like, again, her demeanor changed. Like, she was sweet, bubbly, nice, sweet little voice, and, like, a big, huge smile on her face. Oh, my God. Well, and then she went in this whole story time of how she met her husband. And I was enjoying every minute of it because I love to hear stories, of older people and back when and stuff like that. I wasn't bored out of my mind either. You guys have got to try the cherry tomatoes with nachos. It's so damn good. She said I was 15. She met her husband at 15 years old. He was 16. And we met at a school lock-in. Our school had a lock-in. And as soon as she said that, I was like, what? They did lock-ins back then? Like, I was shocked. I thought that was like, like a 90s thing. I thought they like started in the 90s. I don't know. But No, yeah. I guess they started many, 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 many moons ago. Because she said, yeah, her and her husband met at a lock-in. And she actually said, the whole time she was telling this story, you guys, she was so, just a beautiful person, like, came alive. And I'm just like, I was just sitting there enjoying everything she was saying to me. And she actually went there with another boy, another date. While she was there at the lock-in, she locked eyes with her husband that she, married. He was there with another date as well. I was like, really? She said, yeah. She goes, I did not go to the lock-in with my husband. I went with another guy. And then I was really intrigued by this story. I was like, I crossed my legs and I was just like this. And I was just like, uh-huh. And I was like, juicy. It's getting juicy. So then she said that her and her husband locked eyes, like passing each other. And she said he was the most handsome boy I've ever seen in my life. She's like, we both went like this as we walked by each other and kept walking. And she goes, I couldn't believe it. She goes, I went to turn around to look at him. And as soon as I turned around to get another look at him, because he was that good looking, he did the same thing. So they both turned around and looked at each other once they passed each other, because that's how attracted they were. Just love at first sight kind of thing. So she's like, the rest of the night, I ended up being with him. She said I did not see the boy that I came with the rest of the night. I was like, are you serious? She goes, nope. She goes, I knew in my heart that I wanted to be with him. And it was love at first sight. And we spent the whole rest of the night. I'm sorry, I keep coughing. She said we spent the whole rest of the night at that lock-in together. Me and the man I'm married to now today. I said, what a romantic story, Missy. Oh my God. I said, what did your date say? Like, did he ever approach you or like, hello, what's going on? She's like, no, he never approached me again because he saw me. He saw me the entire night with this other boy. And he didn't have the guts to come up and ask me why or what are you doing or anything like that. So she's like, nope. She goes, I think he got the picture. And I started laughing and then she started laughing. And I said, yeah, I think so too. I've told Big Daddy 10,000 times, don't yell when I'm doing a video. Yeah. So, she said she left with him. And when her mother came to pick her up, she saw her daughter walk out with another boy that she did not go there with. So, she said when that boy kissed me on the cheek, her husband, and hugged me and left, like the next morning when her mother came to pick her up. Not that night, because it was a lock-in. Excuse me, I have indigestion now. Her mother, she got in a car, and her mother goes, that wasn't the boy you went to the lock-in with. And then she goes, I know, Mom. I met someone else. So her mother goes, you go to a lock-in with a date and you leave with another date? And then Miss C's like, yes, Mother, I did. She goes, how do you think that nice boy felt that took you there? Don't you think you hurt his feelings leaving with someone else? And Miss C was like, well, I don't care because he never said a word to me the whole time. He didn't even have a personality. She goes, I was so bored. And her mom's like, oh, okay. But yeah, and then she said that it happens every freaking time. I just get tomato squirt. So Missy said that they were inseparable after that. They were never apart. So she met her soulmate, the love of her life, when she was 15 years old at a lock-in. I still have this lingering cough and it won't go away. Oh my God, I ate almost all of these, you guys. Look at this. Whew. Then I was like so into her story. Like, and she goes, oh, we were together ever since and the rest is history. And then I said, well, like, how did you guys get married? How did he ask you to marry him? Oh my God. I got a burp so bad. Like, I could feel it. That's going to be huge, too. It's going to sound like a queef. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But... I could be so disgusting sometimes. I know it. I'm about to pop. Okay, so then she yelled at me again because when I asked her about, you know, how did you guys get married? How did he ask you for your hand in marriage? And she goes, and then she goes back to her like demon, second personality. She goes, I was just telling you about the lock-in. The story's over. And she got up and she went in the kitchen and she started making her lunch. And I was like, wow, what the hell? So then I go in the kitchen with her and I said, Miss.C, can I please make your lunch for you? No, you may not. Just staring at me like this. I said, well, tomorrow when I come back, I said, can we look through more photos and can you tell me more stories? And she's like slamming the, you know, the the mayo on her bread. She's like looking at me. She goes, maybe. And I was like, that's a yes. I said, okay. And then, so that was that. I just sat there, opened my magazine because she was making her lunch and I didn't want her to yell at me for staring at her. She made her lunch. She went out and ate it. Excuse me. I had to cough really loud again. And I gotta speed this up. This is an hour already. So I stay at the island. I just stay there because I could see her plain sight through the window, the kitchen window. I can't eat another bite. So, I'm just sitting there reading my magazine. I'm like, I don't think she really wants me out there. So I'm just going to stay here. So after her lunch, she did not do her exercise. Not at all. I was shocked. She came in. She washed her dishes. She didn't say a word to me. I didn't say a word to her. And passed me and she went back to her bedroom. And I heard her kind of shut the door. So I was like, okay. I was like, maybe she'll stay asleep the rest of my shift. Because she got ugly again with me. Look at, I said I can't take another bite. Oh my God. I'm going to turn this. Well, the rest of the time, you guys, she did not come out of her room. I was happy. It didn't upset me. I was like, thank God she's sleeping. Like, she's going to sleep. And she did. She slept the rest of my shift. So, when it came time for me to clock out, I went to the back room. Whew. I went to the back room and I opened the door and I said, this is spilling over and I wanted to get on my water bottle. Oh God, so good. I said, Missy, I was trying to call her calmly, like in a calm voice because she gets so pissed when you wake her up. Like, she jumps out of bed. You scared me. So, I was like, Missy. I said, my shift's over. I gotta go home. She wakes up. She sits up in bed. I'm not even kidding. She sits up in her bed Indian style. And this is what she said to me. She's glaring at me like that. Like she always does. And she goes, I suppose it would be too much to ask for you to stay the night with me. God, you guys just come here during the day and tell me what to do and try and force to make food for me or tell me I need to do this or do that. You can do that all dang day long, but you can't stay one night with me? She goes, yeah, it'd be too much to ask, wouldn't it? And I looked at her, I said, you want me to stay the night with you? And she goes, yes, but I know you won't. Because I'm sure you gotta get home and go do your hair or nails or something. Or maybe eat because you're so chubby. She always said that. And she laid back down. And I said, Missy, you asked me something so uglily, if that's a word, so uglily. You're asking me a favor, but you're asking me in a very ugly way. And how do you think I'm going to respond to that? And then she starts crying. So I walk over there and I said, Missy, can I give you a hug, please? And she goes, no, don't touch me. So I said, okay, well, I already clocked out. So I really got to go. And then she goes, oh, yeah, I'm sure you're not getting paid right now. So why would you even want to be here? She goes, you're right, just leave. I said, Miss C, your family did not sign us up for night shifts with you. We're only on day. So I would absolutely love to stay the night with you if I was put on a night shift with you. But your family has you on day shifts only. So if you really want me to stay the night with you, you're going to have to talk to your daughter-in-law and ask her to give you some night shifts with our company. And I would be glad to stay the night with you. And she's looking at me and she goes, are you lying to me? I said, no, I'm serious. She goes, you'd stay the night with me? I'm thinking with one eye open, bitch, but I would. No, of course I wouldn't be sleeping. Got me fucked up. Hell no. But of course I'd, do a night shift. Be spooky as hell, but I'd do it. So, see, this food needs to go because I'm going to keep picking at it. I can't breathe and my stomach is so hard and I'm done. But, yeah. So, I said, Missy, you know I love you and I would do anything for you. I said, you know that. Even though you're so mean to me, I'm still very nice to you. I said, I would absolutely spend the night with you. So talk to your, she was crying and made me feel bad, but I had to go. I had children to take care of, dinner to cook for my family too. So I don't know if it was kind of like a guilt thing, like she was trying to like keep me there with her crying, or maybe it was real. I don't know. But yeah, she was sobbing. So I was like, okay, I really have to go. I have to go cook for my family. And she's like, she did that shit again to me in the middle of me talking. And I'm just like, I'm like, you know what, bitch, you can cry all night by yourself because you're a mean egg. Anyway, so I said, okay, fine. You don't want me to talk anymore. I said, I will see you tomorrow. And so I walked out and she jumped off the bed like a psychopath. She was just like I've never seen her move so fast. And she was like right up my ass to like shove me out the door. As soon as I get to the door, she goes, I turn and look at her and then I said, I love you. She goes, get the hell out of my house. Get the hell out of my house. Over and over again. And I was like, okay, bye. So I just walked out and she slammed it. Okay. I will see you guys on the next video. Stay safe, blessed wherever you're at in the world. And I hope you enjoyed this fabulous chili cheese nachos. Oh my God, this was like a family platter. Why do I do this to myself? And yeah, you know what? One more thing I gotta say before I kiss off. I posted in my community tab and like some bitches came for me. Like, that was very rude. So you know what? Just because you were rude in my community tab, the last post I did, I'm going to get drunk on my next video just for that. Because you made me, it's all going to be your fault. So how do you like that? I'm just doing talk some more shit. This ain't going to be filled with water, bitches. I'm going to fill it with fucking whiskey. Shit. And I'm going to cheers to you all who are ugly. Oh my God. I really think I can roll out of here. Okay, I love you guys. Bye. Oh my God. I can't. I gotta go upload this video now. Oh my God, I have such a mess to clean up. Please, somebody come over here and clean this up. I'll pay you.